There are many extremes to hunting. You know, when you are hunting super dreary weather, snowy, rainy, windy, you're always wishing you were somewhere where it was warm. Well, there's times when you got that sweat on your brow where you're wishing for a little bit of frost. Maybe it's just a little too hot. That's what I ran into while I was bow hunting pronghorn. When you start hunting pronghorn in August, when temperatures can go over 100 degrees, and then you stuff yourself inside one of these little easy bake oven blinds, you're talking hot, 100 to 120 degrees hot. You're talking baking a muffin hot. But the pronghorn hunting can be just as hot if you can bear it. Wyoming may be the cowboy state, but it is definitely the pronghorn state. On their pre-hunt population surveys, they usually come up with a count of more pronghorn in the state than actual residents that live there. I hooked up with my good friends Scott and Angie Denning of Table Mountain Outfitters. Great Wyoming outfitters. They show you true Western hospitality, and they're likely to show you a few pronghorn. Now, if you pick the right place to hunt, the right outfitter, the right location, you're gonna see a lot of pronghorn. Pronghorn are kind of like the African species of North America. They're out and about most of the day, very visual, very daytime animals. They're not those sneaky critters like elk and deer that like to sneak away during the day and hole up where you never get to see them. So what does that give you? Window shopping time. You get to look them over and get an idea of what's out there. Sometimes they'll be a couple hundred yards away. You have to look at them with binocular. Sometimes they're going to be right in your face, making you make that decision in a split second or a minute or two while they're getting their drink anyway. If you don't know what you're looking at, it's just a matter of inches that makes a good pronghorn trophy a great pronghorn trophy. Now, the first day out, I was biting nails. I hadn't even been in the blind a half hour when the action took off. A lone buck, he just charged out of nowhere. He was thirsty. He hadn't had a drink all night. As he edged closer though, that sixth sense, that Bruce Willis thing, it kicked in. I didn't think it was the wind was in my favor, but something about the setup just wasn't right for him. Was it the blind? Was it just the fact that the water was down in a low spot and he couldn't see it well? I don't know, but he never made it to the water. He turned, walked out, and stood there for a long time. He was thinking over his decision at the same time I was thinking over my decision. Should I have made a shot when he was in there, when he was inside of 40 yards? The more I got to glassing him, again, the better I started feeling. That's better than watching Good Morning America any day of the year. For me, this is Good Morning America. Things were starting to happen. The hills were coming alive, and not with the sound of music, but with pronghorn heading down right to the water. Now, the next buck that come in really made me think. He looked like he was edging up close to 14 inches. You could just see it in his eyes. He needed a drink. He was looking it over, but he definitely was thirsty. He was doing a lot of that on his way in. I decided right then I was going to let him have a drink. Then I thought, you know what? I might just let him have an arrow at the same time.
Extreme Pursuits is brought to you by Polaris. See the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles now at your local dealer. Hunter's Specialties, for sportsmen, by sportsmen. Real Avid, true to the core. Nikon, the trusted name in optics. Truck Vault, manufacturers of the world's finest in vehicle secure storage systems. And by these other fine sponsors.